Yo, I just made a say. My kind of say, I quite say, on the moon, so be na Uyamu and 2 ya. Na who say Bibia a consul. Na Ukonumna say, Yamia ya dom na Uyamutua. Na who about one so say Bibi etochima. Onune ye, I can say, Adia ako hintan yen.
Yes, oh, no, not a baby, you moon tree, dear.
Unim.
And your wound, and your woman.
Aha. No man no. Na the echo so we chino. Enti untumi nka bibia emfi ho. Meka say onu na ye biggest problem. Na da ye ho beba ye ho so no. Na asai. Na senia wo hia se kasa efa se aso yen ho anase obi emfa ho adwen ni nkeka ho no. The American says a meti hey wo kasa na mekọ abẹ 14 times so na me hu se ampa reports binum ewo anase apepue me hwese a report by the Institute for Advanced Science, Social and Sustainable Future. And heading new year ecological study of galamsey activities in Ghana. Yeah. Now, we also see women in international security. Almost say galamsey in Ghana mitigating its negative effects. There's a document on that. Bibinsu waha a research gate. Almost so ecological study of galamsey activities in Ghana and their consequences. And Ahansu Bibi waha at University of Ghana. Research report 2023 to 2024. Also on galamsey. Na I can say kuku dam ya ma bobo mo so yi. Me ho am say me ho scientific research in some more report be recently. When me nyina no actually say at least obi ye nhwehwemu na am say akoka de anamma ebetu
Take action.
Action anamma ebetu a ebema we ni nyina eno atwa ono ni asem a eda ho enti niam ahuin de me ntumi nka se obi andwe ho na senia ebe ya so ano no em se ono na akoye ye problem sa na me pese my kano at this point.
Na say we forum be about how to stop
my monitor in general na me who said there were so many tidbits flowing around here and there. Obi ahwe senia obi share na adwen and obi no so ka say the government should declare a state of emergency. Na me who say yewra Chachuchikata. Chachuchikata lawyer no. Ono susu che na adwen bia o che say can state of emergency hu asema na ono susu yen ya hwe ye kakra because who dey to me ko share obakun samsa na de ebekwa kosi no o say ya adwen eko ono susu hu
state of emergency no among for ka bebe but we baby says a day. As will be a cabby, oh, I buy the case, emergencies, a day.
And here, buying declare not adjusted the dear, now buy the catcher say, I just have only coins of BDD because we are in state of emergency. No, now we kind of saying. Now, me, you want not acquire idea near you can say a canchino. State of emergency, acquire canchibia opening no be canchi now by force, no, it's easy. Good evening, listeners, and thanks once again for receiving us in your homes with your hearts love as we continue in our studies of keys to the kingdom. As usual, it's a great pleasure. We all understand we are studying together. When we have shared our thoughts, you also have the opportunity to share your thoughts, and we also learn something from you. Eche for yenama kwenya so echia obibia na edamasi se and then so do akumapa. Moji awa tu omofi abetua ye adisua so. Na se na kan de bia na ye de pa se nyina agyasum se yesua ade na nya kan ye de wi a nso mu akwanya se weche mu adwen na nso ye kan bibi yesua bibi afi mu nchen ye de masi bebre se galanse asem de akwa ba ye hu bebia ye de si na ba omis o se et mi so ano because any IT no mercury mine so I say gold fever nema be break or so ho na ehia se obinim di ho bo afode na omunyam ni ntem tie wa senia omutumi di nyame ni pe ebe adwuma onam no so na omutumi so nsam ano ewo mercury asasi so enti ye kan de ekosia ne se obi biara hia adwen sakra obi biara hia adwen sakra obi biara ehia adwen sakra se one to galamsey ndidi a enya na che se kwan bie ni ho a obisan edidi ebiom nti yenhwe yenka eni. Listeners, I just brought in once again the issue of galamsey. We've been talking so much of galamsey, and as we strive to find solution, we reference ourselves in our study of wisdom to what happened on the planet Mercury, where there was what has been referred to by the Master Morya as gold fever. Gold fever. So it became necessary for some people to devote themselves to the manifestation of the will of God, to become adepts in the manifestation of the will of God in their affairs, and therefore by extension in the affairs of the community in which they lived. At the end of it all, it behooves of all of us to ensure that we have a change of attitude. Let us change our attitude, let us change our mindset. The fact that you don't get money out of galamsey does not mean it is not possible to get money anywhere to eat. I saw some videos where galamsey has gone under some railway lines, and the rails are hanging in the air. And I understand the Gridco lines are also under threat of galamsey. Well, if you decide to go and do that and the pylon falls on you, I'm sure nobody will tell you you should stop galamsey, because you wouldn't be there to be advised. You won't be there to be advised. So it is better for us to wise up So I just indicated to adjuster from the few lines or topical lines I referenced on the internet, giving an indication that people are not that silent after all. Some people are plunging themselves into research to investigate what exactly is going on. Some have gone to the extent of the health effects, the deformed children that are being born, and so forth. So it isn't that nobody is looking, but it appears our problem now is what action to really take. Some are asking for state of emergency, and advice is also being given as to the caution of the state of emergency and its execution and so forth. We need to find a solution to this problem. So, as I indicated, I have here before me it's a Women in International Security Policy Brief, Galamsey in Ghana, Mitigating Its Negative Effects. There's a whole document in here. Some of the areas talk about small-scale mining in Ghana. There's another subject on effect of Chinese illegal mining. I'm reading from documents, so please. There is also government response, and there is obstacles to curbing Galamsey, and there is also the role of civil society, and finally, recommendations. So I'll just touch on the recommendation in here, talking about raising awareness, dialogue with the government and local officials, programs to develop alternative employment opportunities, safe houses, transnational advocacy. These are some of the recommended topical areas within this document by Women in International Security, their policy brief. And of course, this is as far back as February 2021. As far back as February 2021, these concerns were expressed. At here for the American, and it's Annie Galamsey assembly a bar. A joint film one any year because say I jam us a busy me. Say, work on no moon so now when you want to, yeah, only sense you know. Na ekodi unya wo kwan foforo so a na sa enye ayem tu a ene na wonim se bibia ekoso the abeye west no na untumi enso ano ebiom enti se Galamsey assemba dia eyade ayentumi endwane emfi ho sa se yenka ho asem na me trese sesia a meti he me hwe ade a Ekobi atro Women in International Security omo atro omo policy brief a omo kan something Galamsey ni nyan a odi yen ewo Ghana mamu na okasa free fast small scale mining and okasa nso fa osi Chinese for omo ye illegal mining mi pacho obi na so ni se ne otiti ati American no research document and a policy document obino atro nti me kan frame nti utie a na watie no sa say ade a atro I mean kan ma omo say China for omo illegal mining omo ye ene nsunsun so a ede brain na senior government nsusu ye efa ho na niema si e kwan say yentumi ense Galamsey ano ena wasa kasa nsusu afi ye nyina nsusu sene juma ase ye di ewo eho na wie no omo kire omo adwen kwan ya be fa so edi aso ano na omo kire se me fa etin seminar o se ye ma dodo na anasa ye nyina ye nya ntiase ana nimdie ewo nyanya galamsey ADN na government ensusu ni the abankesem ene nia ye omo local government also mo nyina omo ndi nkita ho emfa nsem ho na ye nhwe ensusu se kwan ben so na ebefa ye benya adwuma fufuro bi ama wona oni adwuma ye no by all means galamsey na mo kokko ye no ye nhwe se adwuma ben ne abetumi anya ma omo a so mo jai galamsey a omo betumi enya omo ensa ko omo enu na ye hwe safe housing susu na I was say amansan ni nyina susu ehwe se na ye bekasa afa dia ye beye ebom ema wenum etumi is ajai nti ehwe se enye se ye nyina ye te ho na ye hwe han keke ebinim o ye nhwehwemu nanso de ye di nhwehwemu no de efimu ban se na ye di edima de bedi no em se onu na akoye asema hayen. Now let me just read out the conclusion of this document that was published by Women in International Security, their policy brief in February 2021. The conclusion of this whole document says this policy brief proposes peaceful means for curbing Chinese galamsey in Ghana through greater reliance on CSOs. Forceful curbing of galamsey will only lead to more violence and abrupt loss of livelihood. Grievances will increase, aggravating the challenges communities already face. The government's ban on illegal mining and violent crackdown are compounding the problem while failing to tackle it systematically. The problem of Chinese illegal mining in Ghana is both serious and complicated. It secures livelihood for some and destroys it for others. It creates dependencies, incites violence, reduces security, and severely depletes natural resources. By bringing together all stakeholders, the local mining communities, the Ghanaian government, and international actors, we believe mobilizing CSOs will help Ghanaian communities address the problem holistically. Now, whilst I'm reading all this, I'm asking myself whether this particular work is principally focused on Chinese operations, or that it has been established that they are the main or they are the heart of the problem. That is what knocks my head as I read through this document. So that is a work, and I believe we're all hearing out there. So something is being done, some writers are coming up, but it's a matter of how we are going to consolidate our efforts and get this sorted out before it is too late. Right. I tell for my kind name be braces here, Nina no ne awie ya ne se akwese we no nchoe ne nyina no kasa efa China for omu galamsey nsem wo akronum na me bisa se we ayade a onu afa no se me hwe die China for ye wo galamsey nsem wo krom ade yenyan ana se omu pa che se China for omu juma wo krom wo galamsey nsem ho onu na ye titriu omu juma no ena ye titriu wo krom ntina ye omu kanosa onu ya ade a media emi sumi hwe efra omu policy statement no emo nti ne nyinaa no na ɛkyerɛ sɛ sɛ ɔmo hwɛ saa fa no a ɔwɔ sɛ ɔbɛn nsusu ɛhwɛ bɛnkorɔ another direction sɛ yɛbɛhwɛ na problem no ɔhaw no yɛbɛtumi asɔ ne nyinaa ano yie yɛdam ase yɛde galamsey detail wei bɛsi ha for the meantime na yɛayɛ nsɛm baako mmienu bi ɛno afei yɛ last week program a yɛyɛyɛ listeners we are online on Facebook at Summit Ghana and also on YouTube at Summit Ghana, and as usual we will be trying to mix the local language with English, so just bear with us. I want to answer this question that came up last week very quickly. I believe I gave a sufficient answer, but just to digest a little bit more for a bit of clarity. Last week there was a question about paradise and heaven. There was a question about paradise and heaven, which is which, and I gave the response that in short, excuse me, we are talking about different levels or different dimensions of the manifestation that we are calling paradise and heaven. We have discussed here before the biblical story where Paul said he knows a man who some years back was taken to the fourth or seventh heaven, and things were revealed to him that he was forbidden to speak to any man. So if the Bible is talking about different levels of heaven, that means something. Yes, paradise, heaven. And I want to submit this contextually based on the commentary by Matthew Henry, a Bible commentator. We've based our work so much on his commentary when needed. So I present this for us to have a clear Christian perspective, because I know people are worried as to whether this is biblically sound to say there are differences. So that's why I'm stating it that way. So what is the Bible commentary on paradise and also on heaven? Looking at Matthew Henry, it tells us that paradise has two contexts: the Garden of Eden in Genesis and the New Jerusalem or heaven state in Revelation. For the Garden of Eden, that is Genesis chapter 2, he notes it was a beautiful garden, not a palace, showing that man in innocence needed few artificial delights. Eden means delight and pleasure. Therefore, if you say Garden of Eden, then you are talking of Garden of Delight and Pleasure. And true pleasure is found only in innocence. Adam was placed there to work, dress and keep it, showing that work is an ancient and honorable calling, and idleness is not conducive to happiness. For the heavenly state in Revelation 22, He described it as the new, better paradise restored by the second Adam, Christ, containing a pure crystal river of life flowing from the throne of God and the Lamb. The ever-bearing tree of life with fruits for health and pleasure, symbolizing the continuous, fresh joy of heaven. Perfect freedom from evil and the supreme felicity of seeing God's face and reigning with Him forever. In short, paradise is a state of joy, of pleasure, of delight, which you can enjoy in your innocence or in your state of innocence, but you are not enjoying this in the very presence of God Himself. When you are in the abode of God Himself, then you are in the heavenly realm, a different state of enjoyment. A different state of enjoyment. So heaven is different from paradise. We can go on in this into various levels, but I don't want us to shift too much from the topic we are looking at now. Suffice it to say that there is the theological concept also of limbo, which is a certain state that is advocated that people who die go there and rest until the day that they will be taken to their final destination. And limbo is described as a borderline between heaven and hell. This is seen basically as a Catholic doctrine or theology. This is what I'm referencing this as a documented that I picked from the internet. So when I looked at this from the perspective of Matthew Henry, the commentary shows that because Matthew Henry is a Protestant, he didn't touch directly on the subject of limbo. But suffice it to say that, yes, when a person dies, it goes into a certain state. And Ascended Masters have given the indication that there are 33 levels of the etheric, or we'll call it the heavenly realm if you like. And there are also the 33 levels of the astral. And the 33rd level of the astral, or the negative side, that is what is really referred to as the abyss. So there are gradations, there are grades. And as we are here walking as living beings, we are in a plane. The physical plane here is a plane where the etheric or the heavenly realm overlaps the hell realm. The etheric realm overlaps the astral realm. So on earth, as we are walking today physically, we have ourselves interacting in bliss or in joy, and also in sadness or in negatives. Therefore, the chances are high that as we are moving around, call it as living beings, we are floating around with some dead ones also. Call them ghosts, if you like. They have taken on bodies, and we are floating through them and people are not aware, and yet those who have eyes can see. Yes. As we are moving around today, as you move around Accra, it is not everybody that is a proper living being. There are some that are what is called discarnate. They are souls that have been discarnated, they have died, but they have managed to, occupy some bodies. Yes. But I am very sure that your grandfather in the village has told you before that it is not everybody you see moving about there that is a human being. Yeah. Good. And you see, these are things we should be learning from our elders, you know. The person is walking and his face is looking on the ground as he moves. Into then you have to ask why. There must be something behind. Oh, say, yes. So, for the mechanic say, Annie, yes, yetiasi. You will hunam, yeninam up and down. Then so, a friend say, a binun saw a monfin in Samado, almost so a more fat, a hunambi, our muninam yentem. Nti, I'd say it is a binamu ni Obi Kodana, or Mushana, Omesorona, Adane, skeleton, or said, a bear stories. Nanso, a idea a woman say, a binmu or what, young who say, or that's any Nancy, or yet that's any. Or to me, soon no, I will fee Obimu, say we will know. To me, ko ra, hunam, ebimu. Ono ntina ehia titu na oba wafa yefu ohia ehunbanbo se na ebe ya sunsun we mu no omo benya kwan enko rom. That is how it is. So asasi so ayewe yenam se tiasefo na nso so yanya ntiase se binum susu na mo a omo susu omo fi nsamando a omo afa hunam a obuninam yentem na asase so ayewe ebinum wo mo heaven ebinum susu e wo mo hell bra ye de tiase ye wo tiasefo om obinum wo mo heaven ebinum wo mo hell ni nyina agina de ekoso ewo wasitrem saa bre no ena eche se udi de ana se udi se wundi de ya ncha udi aro ho ni nyina ye de etra we no mu enyina enti ye nam up and down no ye nyanti ase se binum wo mo heaven obinum susu ewo omo hell na se wanya sa anti ase no na se obi ne hell brena edu na o hwese na obayi ne ho na o kwakọ tata no a na de ebesi no na esi so esi sura himam esi paradise any heaven ena ye chese ani paradise ya baby a bibia ekoso a enije ewo ho uwe enije udidel nanso enye baby a echese uwo nyami enim sabre no na nchechwe ewo ho se na etie no nchechwe a anase gidi a ye nuanom Catholic for omo se nipa wu a bibi wo ho a ye friend limbo a ewo heaven ni hell so ahimam ene bonsanjam awuntem na me kan so say asene masters ama ya nyanti asese say see heaven a ye wo no entuatua so 33 ye see hell nsusu a ye wo no nsusu ntuatua so 33 na asase so away ye we enne say ye ti ase no aye hu ye hunam no hell ni heaven omo afrafra ene de ewo ho na se si ebekọ we mu ni nyina onu ye topic complete enti de mepese ye ya ne se ye yi anu simple se nyanti ase se heaven ni paradise enye adikro heaven no ebe fa no se onu na ni bra wo nyame enim paradise no eye baabi a ni nyina ade ni nyina akoso from wudi anigye ewo ho na Matthew Henry's commentary and me fa ye say ye benya ntiase say heaven ni paradise asem no enye say obi sori keke na o kikan sem bi na ukọ bible no mu pensem ukọ fifi mu a ntiase wo ho ana chechwe ewo ho a chel say so ukọ Genesis ho na ye say Garden of Eden na Eden no asie kire say enigye enti say Garden of Eden na e kire say baby a enigye wo no na wo paradise so wo baby na say niema e koso from Emma wa na wo paradise no na say edu bra wo nyame animu a na wo say sa bre no na wo heaven eno no onu ni ntiase a mepese yeri ye djuma sa bre say hia say ye ka 33 levels na em say onu no ye ntimi nka ne nyina wo radio station ha ye nya kwan na ye hye mo outsider ye benya mbre a betumi akora onu mu bebre enti paradise any heaven omunye adikro na Paul nsusu ma yenya ntiase Bible no mu say onim obi enfie bi a etwem nipa no yeri ne ko heaven etua so it's a fourth and that's a seventh heaven yeri ne ko ho ye church no manu nsem a ense say oni kwan say obeba be ka kire atiasefo bia enti heaven no ye wono levels ura heaven ye wono levels baby a wono ena eche ade a nyankopon ebue esu echew na sene masters omma enya antiase se omo amoye asene masters mpo no omo ye djuma ewo the 7th heaven level eho ena omo ye adjuma enti 33 no de sene e kan last week nyankopon or transcend or konenim or konenim nti men ka say ene wa ko school wanya 100% nti wasu ade awie there be 100% no the osu ayenkwa na oji 100% nima bebre wo ho a wonya nsu aye nti nyame tembia or konenim wonsusu or se ni udi na chi saa eko nti ye ka say men can say unim bibia because the nyanhui agwe esu kakra enne ache wo no ono na wonim na on sheda embue ni nyina nsusu prekon o wa no kakra na senia udidi djuma no ena ebe kire se ebe hia se all why the next level emma. We talk about the transcendence last week and he said that the drama of existence is that God is continually evolving. And he reveals the mysteries of the kingdom from time to time as you increase in your devotion to him. Then he releases the mysteries of life gradually to you. So, even the ascended masters in their heavenly state do not claim they know everything, because what they know at that level is what God has released to them. There is transcendence. The more they move up higher, because they have used God's energy well, the more God unfolds the mysteries of life to them. So don't bluff yourself to think that you know everything. God is continually expanding in awareness in everything, and we have also to follow suit day by day. You cannot grab all God's energy at a go, one day, and all is done. You progress step by step. You devote your life to God in prayer, in fasting. The more you do it, the more dynamic you become. And also, as you persist to do so, God increases your awareness of him in bits and pieces as will be necessary for your salvation and your working on this earth. Don't try to know more than God wants you to know or sees you need to know for that period. There is no point. It won't help you. The more you open your eyes that I want to see more, the more the chance of you getting yourself into the risk of falling, because you might not have been prepared to do so. So all you need in life is ask for God's direction. And once you are getting God's direction all the time, your life will be perfect. Eti for the American and it's Nyankopon ne nyonyam ne nyansa ne tumi ne bibia no ebuboso dɔɔso ɛnyɛ ade a wobɛka sɛ Nyankopɔn wɔ 10 cars ɛnti mekɔ akɔgye 10 cars no nyinaa ɛfɛ ne nsɛm ɛnɛ na ɔwɔ 10 cars ɔkyena no ebi abɛka ho, next time ebi abɛka ho. Ɛnti bra wo kɔ akɔfa no na wagya foforɔ aka ho. Sɛ wodi w'adwuma yie a na wama wo baako, ebi a next time no na wama wo spare tire, next time no ebi a na wama wo spare steer kakra saa wobɛhwɛ no spares no na ne nyinaa asa akɔyɛ car foforɔ ama wo, because time bia Nyankopɔn ɔkɔ n'anim. Ɛnti mɛnyɛ w'adwene sɛ wokɔ school nɛ na sɛ wakɔyɛ sɔhwɛ na wanya 100% a na ɛkyerɛ sɛ waso ade awie. Daabi. Ɛnti na Master Morya ɔse your best is not enough. Nia waya wahu sɛ o we deɛ ma ya kosi ɔsɛ ɔno nkura mpɔn sɛ ɔbɛ ɛndu baabi a. Ɛnti deɛ ehia no sɛ still wobɛyiri wɔ ho na wasa ahwɛ sɛ sɛn na wobɛyɛ asan kɔ w'anim. Manya 100% ane nanso deɛ yɛde sɛ ɔmehwɛeɛ no ɔno na menya 100%. Ɔnya ɔno na ɛkyerɛ sɛ subject no ne baabia no mene ne nyinaa. Sɛ ba no saa anka obi ampase sɔhwɛ wo, anka obi ampase sɔhwɛ ya passe sɔhwɛ anya 100%. Nso nneɛma bi no mu wɔ hɔ topic no mu a woyɛ deɛ a yɛnte aseɛ da saa na ɛteɛ. Ɛteɛ for mɛpɛ sɛ mabie phone lines no saa bere na mususu ma bem na mo akyɛ mo agents obi wɔ asɛm a na wɔabisa nyame adom a yɛbɛyɛ ano, ntumi yɛ ano a yɛbɛhwehwɛ mu na yɛabɛyɛ ano ama mo. Listeners, our phone lines are open. You can come and make your contributions, ask your questions, and then we progress.
All right. Our phone lines are 0240 Hello. Okay, let's hear you.
I asked the question the other day, the paradise and the heaven. Yeah. In fact, this issue is very difficult to explain, but I'll tell you something and I'll find time to come and show you something at your workplace. Difficult to explain. According to my understanding, is the house of God, where our Lord God is, that is the heaven. And paradise is where we, the makers, are. And I try getting into this heaven and paradise issue. And I try getting into this heaven and paradise issue. We are the people who are in paradise. That is why Jesus said to the thief that he will be in paradise with him. And John 14 also said in my father's house there are a lot of buildings and so on, so in paradise. So the paradise and the heaven, as I know, as I've been taught, and as it has been revealed to me, we have only three heavens. The three heavens are for the one is for the animals, the other is for the moon and the sun, and the other one is for our Father. And we are in paradise. So, but I'll come to the studio and then.
And the Bible has revealed to us that we have 33. Oh, Reverend, is it not 33 heavens?
I just read the submission you are making, sir. I just made a statement that what I'm giving to you is the commentary on the Bible concerning paradise and heaven. And heaven has been related to where you are facing God.
Yeah.
The place that God lives, that is a heaven. But the paradise is where we are living, that everything is clean and joyful, like the Garden of Eden. That is where we are living. And that is why I also explained that as we are on this earth today, depending on the level you are operating, you may be operating in the earthly paradise, or you could also be entering the heavenly kingdom, as Paul indicated for us. So on that context, I don't think what you are submitting is different from what I said. That is my view of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take this one. Oh, DJ Amingo, sorry. We'll line and drop it. 0240358182. 0240358182. DJ.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm say your office. Seriously, now we are here. Now, Papa Casabiara or the Tibano or Tasum. Simple business is in Tasum. Sisia Damu in Samia Muke. We Damu Yakosu Yakosu. Namu Sisia. Yakenya Muo Studio Muke. On not Tasum. Now, I just have a television. We can't be. It has actually got all the issues. What is your move? That's finished in my course. I am Mama. Obedience was in. Okay, we come out of the photo. Sure, yeah, yes, I mean, Mama about to ask it. Now, Obikan. all the forces are legal baba. I'm sending no so natural. What they are bra. No call for excavator now. What would come apart to me? I just tell you to me, man, what they call him. And that damn then a woman right. And I have a pot cook a cofado, or I don't know. Also, I can't really. It's excavator the original crown. Bimoko Burkina Faso. You're gonna, I'll be at it. This was the jet tunes. Or Command Sudan, as I was in Fosia. Yankomo will be the one for you to know one thing. So, yes, your friend who plays your country. Excavator time up, pot or I am what look at him. Move to Moyano. Take a mother to go and move on my body. No more. Yes, you summon a troll. Actually, I'm not a more.
Okay. Amigo, yati wase. Obi sumra 0240358182. Ye family no aka ona ye ko 0240358182. 0240358182. 0240358182. 0240358182. Reverend Sasasi so aye namuno. Ahonhom benso afa honam ne pedua di ndemu. Anu so di juma pa enti ya na so wahwe na muntu mu ye because sunsun papa o na sunsun boni o ebia na de obugo akohia no ebia na onye papa yes ti hunu se bibi wo ho ya kan bibi ni ho bibi ho 0240358182. Any question be a Reverend?
Hello.
First submission here.
Okay, me that say. And the year can and it's yenhwe na man ka say yanya 100% yeni bibia na niema bebre na ewo ho a yenim na Nyankopon o why niema so ema ya kakra ono ankasa nsusu ekonenim tembia wokosro ahemema enya sekire se why ejuma ewie ejuma won nsusu different level and I say ejuma sonko ewo ho asase so juma ye different from the obeye ewo esro ahemem ensusu nti ne ewo ye wo ho no ene betre enimu a anase kan a obekọ efi say Nyankopon ankasa okọ enenim wosusu ehia say wokọ wenim na yanyaka galamse ho asem nso de ehia no say yenyina yehia adwen sakra sene ebeya obia ebehwezi ade a woye no ebeboa wonyonko a emfa ohaw bia emma obia yaye anase abonre yan japefo o ma yen hwehwemu a mo hu se galamse ede yenyan akoba na se emi nkola ye wo mo mpo no ebumu aye deformed enti ebehia se yehwe na ankoba na se mfie kakra chi no ubehwe no na yenyina yede nam krom ti se mbonchi ense se eba no sa
obewo ba na fi on bezo de be fi hospital abi fi
So, listeners, our plea is let us see what we can do to stop this galamsey menace. Galamsey is not the only means by which we can eat. We should find ways and means by which we can feed others so they cannot go digging under pylons and railway lines and be under the bed where they are sleeping simply because we are looking for survival. We say God is transcending, and by our own actions we can also transcend. And by conclusion, we say there is paradise, there is heaven. Heaven is where God resides, and that is where you be finally with him. But paradise is there where it's a place of enjoyment, like you have at the Garden of Eden. So wherever you are filled with enjoyment and delight, you are in paradise, so to speak. But when you finally get into the presence of God, then you are in the heavenly realm, and that people die and they are not yet gone to heaven. They are living in the state of paradise. And it is said that there are some people who live in these places and think that they are still living beings on planet, but that is not the case. Take note that as we move around, there are actual human beings moving around, and there are also discarnate, that is souls that have been left of dead bodies who have also infested other bodies or taken on bodies by themselves, and therefore are moving around us. So pregnant women need protection so that they don't get infected by souls that have discarnated on this earth. Listener, this is where time will permit us to get to today, and we are most grateful for your attention and participation. Church Universal and Triumphant, our location is at Adenta SDA Junction near Mami Dokunu School. My number is 020 812 50 78 020 812 50